Boom. Boom. Here in Los Angeles. And I know that my stream tends to like buffer at the very beginning, but that's okay. We're getting stuff going. Complicated business, folks. It's Wednesday, the 21st of August, AD 2024. Happy Men's History Month. Last week was last month was White History Month, and this month is Men's History Month. Let me get my IG started. What will we cover today? I would like to talk about the so-called Swifties for Trump. Trump, the based boomer, fell for it. He's like, I accept. But, I mean, he shared some AI pictures, but he also shared some real pictures. There was a real 19-year-old young lady who was for Trump. And I, of course, disavow all these women being all into politics, but they don't know better. They're young. They haven't realized yet. They don't need to be so involved. But, shout out. Nice. To the ladies, Also, poor, bitter Ben Affleck and evil. I don't even like to call her J-Lo. J-Law is better than J-Lo. Am I right? These are women who are in the public eye. But Jennifer Lopez, a fancy singer from when I was in high school. She was popular when I was in high school, and I guess she's still to this day. Also an actress, sort of. But they're miserable together, and they're getting divorced after 2 years. They're separating again. But wasn't she already with somebody else, like that baseball player, and maybe somebody else before that? And Ben Affleck, wasn't he with somebody else? It's a mess. These are entertainers with miserable lives just like everybody else. And you can see the misery. He just seems miserable. I don't know if I've ever watched a Ben Affleck movie that I liked, but I consider him a pretty good actor, I think. People do anyway. Anyway, I had this anti-white commercial that I've been meaning to show to you guys, or portion of it. Oh, and Doug Emhoff simping over that woman whom he remarried. He's not Christian. He doesn't know better. And some other things going on. Some of you guys on hold, and I do want to get to you guys. Some of you guys were disagreeing. Here I am saying guys. Some of you were disagreeing with me about unions. And I understand it. Irish Repub was like, Hake doesn't know anything. And that's true. I'm looking up getting ready for my, I don't. But I'm surprised that Irish Repub doesn't like unions, but he likes unions, but he doesn't like cops. All Irish become cops. Aren't they known to become cops? Or criminals, or both? Shout out to the Irish. I'm ribbing ya. We love the Irish if we love anybody here on the Hake Report. So, anyway, guys, it's time to get on with the show, and let's see what I can do over here. You hear that noise? You hear that sound, Highness? Let me turn this down just a little bit because I'm not sure how loud it will be. So, anyway, guys, like I said, it's time for the Hake Report. So let's do it.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
Hey, guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
So, how you guys doing? I am fine. We got to do something about this. Studio 8 volume is like feels like it's doing damage to my ears. Terrible. Isn't this nice, this footage over here? Look at the beautiful sunflower. That's GMR. Glendora Mountain Road in the beautiful, I guess it's San Gabriel Valley. That's not even a sunflower, is it? Somebody should move that Hake report logo out of the way. Look at that. Just walking up the mountain road. Watch out for people drifters. And I don't mean people, I mean their cars. Shirt. I'm wearing a nice shirt, by the way. Did you notice? You notice this shirt? I noticed it. Oh, man. The Hake. Pardon me while I do this strange interlude. Okay. So, let's get to a call or two, guys, before we get into these stories. I wanted to get to Jaime in Minnesota yesterday, but I wasn't able to do it. Jaime, thank you for calling and holding there, man. And thank you for calling back today. What's up?
How's it going, Hake?
It's going well, thank you.
Hey, that DNC union guy, he's a real piece of work. Not good.
Yeah, I was talking about him yesterday, and then I saw American Anchor Baby covered him.
Yeah.
Played a portion of his mess.
But, anybody can make a union, So not all unions are created equal.
That's fair. Yep. But what's the purpose of a union?
The union is if a big industry, a big employer, real big. We're talking about like steel drivers unions,
Okay.
If one of them, they employ thousands, tens of thousands even, then the employees get together if they want. You gotta, the government made that FMLD, the union labor thing, so that the big companies will follow the laws. So if like 30% of the workers want to make a union, they do a little vote.
Yeah.
And if they get 30%, then they do a secret ballot, and then you have to have a majority of the employees to pick this union as their leader, for lack of a better word, to do the negotiating for them, the bargaining.
Uh-huh.
And you could have like 4 or 5 different unions going out for a bid to bargain for an industry. So once the people decide on a bargaining union, then the union goes to the employer heads, the bosses, and they say, "Hey, we're making the deals here." And different unions offer different things. Some unions offer pensions. They focus on.
But they can't offer pensions. They get the employer to give them pensions, to give the employees pensions.
Right, and that's the bargaining. So the
Okay.
big company will bargain. Like the union I'm with, the union is in charge of the pension, not the company.
Oh, really? So the
Right.
company gives the union the money, and then the union distributes it as the union sees fit?
Not exactly. Union dues go into that.
Oh.
So I pay a portion to every month to them, and I get a pretty great benefit from it.
Okay.
I never started the union. I got into this job, and they said to work this job, you got to be a union member.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, let me see what you got. And I was like, holy cow, this is a great deal. And they're
Right.
like, yeah, it is a great deal.
Yeah, that's what they do. They basically bribe their union employees to. Yeah, go ahead.
So the company in this union, they still got a deal where they got to test that employee to make sure that they're up to par.
Right.
30 days, 45 days probationary, where they can fire them and say, no, this isn't any good.
Yeah.
But once they make it, then they're in. But then also the managers, they can write them up, and they can, for bad behavior or not doing the work correctly.
Uh-huh.
But also, your other union members are on you, too. So I got some guys over here that were not so good, and I harped on them, one-on-one. So it's up to the union members to keep each other working right.
I suppose it can work if the people are a good quality, but the people are getting lower and lower quality. So it depends on where you are. I
agree with you.
Yeah.
In the white-collar industries, they are, not the blue-collar. The blue-collar, you gotta work, and if the guy next to you ain't working hard, and you have to cover for him, then that's
people say that
bully. I would say we still bully each other over here.
Nice. Bully for what's right. Bully the lazy ones, trifling ones.
Bully for Christ.
Yeah. Nice.
But in the white collar industries, the government industries, they aren't good over there, man. They, don't make fun of my hair, or don't make fun of me because I want to dress like a woman.
Right. Yeah.
So the different industries, unions, they're completely different.
Yeah.
And, you saw in the RNC, that union guy, Sean O'Brien, manly man. Remember him?
Vaguely, not specifically. I vaguely remember a union guy being for Trump, because Trump has had to work with union people, and there are decent people inside of unions, whether or not I agree with the validity of unions, period, is different, and I'm not even sure I do or not. But go ahead.
To your question of what a union is good for, what does it do? It's a collective bargaining for large employers, large ones, not little teeny ones.
Okay.
If you hire 10 people to do something, you're not going to unionize. You got to make a deal with the guy. Small business aren't going to be union.
Fair.
Right? This is a big time kind of thing when you're talking about unions, not small potatoes.
Unions have been a sign, and in some cases a cause or an exacerbation of problems going on. For example, Starbucks employees are working to unionize, I hear, in different places. And that's a sign of bad employees, a sign of a lot of problems in the country, and probably a sign of a decline of Starbucks itself as a company. Because Starbucks used to be great to work for. They used to give their employees, a lot of them were college students, so they would be flexible with their hours. They would give them pretty good benefits, but they were not union. And now that they're becoming union, and also now that they're becoming more, corporate, more like efficient, and also they're supporting liberalism, which is supporting the decline of society and crime and all that stuff. The gay agenda they supported over the years, and they're just been on helping the decline of society, and now they themselves are declining. And I don't think that the unions are going to be a good thing for the employees or for Starbucks.
Right. Well, they're white collar workers.
Oh, okay. Interesting point.
I mean, they're inside in their air conditioning.
Yeah.
They might have to lift, some syrup up off the floor and stuff.
Yeah.
But this isn't hard labor. If you make fun of their, like I said, their shirt, they get all uppity about it.
Right.
Over here in the workers' construction, we're hard, roughneck people. Right? Yeah. So I agree with you. Starbucks as an example.
But even
they're going to have to, if they do unionize, if they did, the company is going to make a deal with the bargaining union, and they're going to make a deal. Maybe they'll say, all right, we're going to have a 2-month probation period, and we can fire them for any reason, looking at us crossways or whatever. But once they're unionized, then, it's harder to fire them.
Right.
But
which is part of a problem.
They're going to change. The managers will change to be more selective in their employees.
Yeah, they better be. It's a mess.
white collars, those guys.
Collective
well, all
is a
those unions.
communist buzzword, by the way. You said collective
you.
bargaining. Collective is a communist buzzword.
Yeah. So unions. Yeah, I agree with you. But I believe your beef is with the white collars, not the blue collars.
Maybe so. I think even the blue collars. I think unions have always been mob and communists. And the communists have infiltrated the good people, and so the good people don't realize that just because they're getting all these benefits, they think the communists are the good guys. But there's other and better ways to get the benefits, maybe.
Maybe or for sure.
I say maybe because I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Okay, well, there isn't.
There isn't?
There isn't.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, so you say. But
I apologize.
No, apologize. I apologize, union people, but I still bash you.
All right, have a good one, Hake.
You as well. Hi, man. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, bye.
Bye. Let's get to a knowledgeable man, Mark in Los Angeles, California. Mark, thank you for calling and holding. What's up?
Yes, sir. I got 3 quickies, and then I'll let you go. I know that we got to keep the wheels rolling. First of all, the other day when you were talking to the Negro from Phoenix, I heard him say in your conversation that there were 2 N-words. Did you catch that?
Yeah, Nazis maybe.
No, I think. I don't, he'll probably deny it.
Stay close to your phone. It's sounding funny in my ears for some odd reason.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You might be on speakers.
Let me do something here.
Yeah, thank you.
Damn.
Darn.
Wanted to say that. Is that better?
Yeah, much better. I appreciate that.
Sure. No, I think he's referring to the word Negro. I don't know why he would say Nazi. I don't think he'd hide that.
Or neighbor.
But,
maybe neighbors.
No.
I don't know if he would make that joke.
No, you could
That's
ask
the one
him,
word. That's the one N word you never want to call a black is neighbor.
I agree.
I'm half kidding. Because there's
No, you're right.
I'm 5% kidding. Nah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
But he did say that, and I think he was referring to the word Negro, which is not, legally speaking, a racial slur.
Right.
I wanted to say that. And the other thing, too, in that conversation, did you hear or did you notice his demonic glee in telling you that they took the Confederate monument down and put up Satan's statue instead, otherwise known as John Lewis? Did you notice that? Or was that just me?
I think that you might not be imagining things. I think that he was sort of gloating. He sort of seems to be gloating, which is not a good thing. In your face to the
Negroes
to the white man
this way.
Yeah, and over
Mm-hmm.
John Lewis, a Democrat who supports evil values, abortion. He supports the fake evil thing called the so-called civil rights movement, which I get that Joe from Phoenix fell for it. But anyway, yeah.
Well, for the record, in 1964, both Ronald Reagan and Barry Goldwater, who were real conservatives, both opposed the Civil Rights Bill. So he wasn't even in tune with conservatism back then. If he was just, I don't know, maybe he was a little boy and too stupid to know.
Oh.
The other thing, and the last part
Don't
of
be
this
so
clown,
vicious. Don't be so vicious over him, man. You're getting riled. You're being.
Well, no, I'm just.
You're even you. And I defend your use of the word Negro, but you're calling him that, and it sounds like you're. That some people, a handful of people, overreact to that word, and it seems like that's the motivation of you calling him that.
Well,
this time,
I'm not going
in general,
to be
when you say it, I've never thought of you as trying to be get a rise out of anybody with that word
and I'm
specifically. But sometimes you say stuff to try to get a rise out of people and also to show your disdain.
Well, when somebody calls for my death, I don't think there's anything extreme about it. And now
I'm not saying that it's extreme. I'm just saying that it's the wrong motivation. If there is a hint of disdain in it, then you too have that same evil spirit that he has when he's gloating and being vicious towards the whites. You're being vicious back at him, and you don't repay. I mean, as a Christian, it's unwise to pay evil for evil. It's evil to pay evil for evil.
Well, okay, I'll buy that, but
Nice.
I just wanted to get it out there to your listeners about
MLK
who this clown
used the term
really is.
Negro in his dream speech,
Exactly.
and I disavow his dream speech.
So do I.
Yeah.
I disavow him entirely as a person.
Yeah.
The last point with this clown from Phoenix. I mean, it's your show. You can say what you want, but I would think twice before I agree with that clown from Phoenix about Louis Farrakhan. Louis Farrakhan does hate white people, but so does the bonehead in Phoenix. The difference is, where Farrakhan is coming from, and if we could work out a peaceable solution to separate the races, Farrakhan is your man. So I know you have reason to not like him as well as me, but in reality, his people don't take welfare. They don't serve in the military. They want separation. They don't rape and chase our women. And to me, they're anti-communist as well. So I would never attack Farrakhan or Elijah Muhammad. He was an honorable man, a very meek, well-spoken, low Q man. I don't think there was any proof that Farrakhan was involved in Malcolm X's murder. That's a libelous lie.
Oh.
He was never arrested. He was never charged, and the scoundrel from Phoenix claimed he was in on it. That's a libelous lie. Okay, so we got that cleared.
What did you call, just to clarify, I don't think that you meant anything by it. You said that you said that he's a low Q man, the Elijah Muhammad guy? Did you mean low IQ or soft-spoken?
He was soft-spoken.
Okay.
Yes. I liked him.
He was not bombastic, is what you're saying.
No, not at all.
But
he was a very gentle man.
I'm a little bit different from you in that communism is not the only evil,
Race mixing.
Race mixing and communism are not the only two evils in this world, as you well know.
Well, they're two of the worst. If you're a white man,
They're bad. I mean, the race mixing thing, I don't know. I think it's a sign of the fallen state. I don't think it in itself is. I don't know. I'm not really for it, but I'm okay with people doing it. I don't like them pushing it.
There were laws against it when America was good.
Yeah,
when America
you have a
was
fair
strong.
point.
We knew it was wrong. Every society that's mixed races has failed.
I can't say that it's right or wrong. I can't even point out what's wrong with it, but it doesn't look right, and it sometimes it looks worse than others. I mean,
Well, it's
Moses.
revenge on Whitey.
Yeah,
The whole thing
that
about it is
motivation.
revenge on Whitey.
That aspect of the motivation is definitely wrong. I'd completely
Okay.
disavow that. Yeah. Okay.
Right,
Anyway, go ahead.
Okay. So, my second point, real quick. This is just a yes or no. Did this character who calls himself Optimist, did he ever reach out to you after our conversation?
Yeah, he
in
said,
regards to his payout.
Yeah, and he no longer calls himself Optimist. He calls himself something else, and he said that you actually redeemed yourself. So he's now saying that we should. What did he say specifically?
Oh, ban the clown from Phoenix.
Yeah,
for
because he's like
$250.
for $250.
Hey, that's an idea.
Yep.
That's an idea. That's a good idea.
He said,
okay, so,
he said that you proved yourself just as the real mother in the King Solomon story. Said don't split the baby. So he's.
I didn't know that was him though.
Yeah,
but okay, I remember you reading that. Yeah.
Chitara said that. So yeah.
Is that him?
Right. Chitara, I guess, was Optimist or whatever he called himself. He's called himself
For
different
bond and for the public service that you guys provide, I would be willing to ban myself to enrich bond with $500.
That's kind.
I thought it was a great idea, but that's fine. Okay, now here's the real reason I called. In regards to unions, I know that the concept is communistic. I realize that. But there are benefits to the union, and if we could root the communists out of it, it would be a better thing. Ronald Reagan, who was an anti-communist, and another right-wing extremist that was a success story. I forgot to join his name in when Clown from Phoenix wanted to know who right-wing extremists were that were successful. You can include Reagan. But anyway, Reagan was president of the Screen Actors Guild, and his stated purpose was to root out communists that were in that union. Okay, now there's different unions. I don't know if you heard me on Anchor Baby yesterday. but there are different unions. For example, public employee unions are the far left unions, at least the leadership is.
Okay.
And the UAW, the auto union people, they're left-wingers too, but they're not government workers, so their jobs can be outsourced. You can't outsource public employee jobs because, they're government workers that work here. Now, they may figure out a way to do it in the future with technology, but for right now, public employee unions are the strongest unions in America, and only 10% of the private sector are unionized. I support unions because they'll fight against outsourcing of jobs. And on a racial outlook, if you're a white man who's being, messed with on the job by a non-white supervisor or even a white supervisor, the union is your only savior. If you're a Negro or Hispanic, you've got the NAACP on top of the union. And if you're Hispanic, I believe it's La Raza, I don't know, one of these groups like that, that will also come in to work with the union to protect them. White people have no other defense other than the union. So I understand what you're saying about collective bargaining being communistic. I agree with that. But what can we do? If you want to hold a job, they give you a pension, they give you benefits, they give you good pay, they protect you from being terminated unfairly. What's wrong with that?
But the part of what's wrong is that they protect bad employees from being fired fairly. I'm with you. I get that we're not going to get rid of unions entirely, at least not at this time. So we got to work with what we have. And that's what Trump is great at, just working with people. It's not perfect.
Trump is not anti-union.
I know.
Just to let you know.
I'm aware that he's at least he's not outwardly anti-union. Maybe he knows that there are problems, but he works with them because he has to. And and he's for being fair anyway.
Agreed.
Yeah.
You have to remember the union leadership is left-wing and communistic,
right.
But the membership will, like when I was in two unions, and I collect a pension from one of them, not from the union, but from the the pension fund. And I can tell you, without that, I'd starve on the street.
Whoa.
If they didn't have I depend on that to live on.
Nice.
I'm not going to dox myself and say who gave me the pension.
Right.
We have some evil characters out there. Indeed. No, but all in all, unions built the middle class. They gave us weekends off, and they gave protection to workers. I know that the downfall is there are bad employees, and sometimes, hard to get rid of them. Teachers union, evil. Teachers union and Randy Weingarten, communist, evil. When COVID was on, they kept the teachers off with pay.
Yep.
But the Teamsters union is a right-wing union. They're conservative. I don't know if they're going to endorse Trump. They might. But I can tell you one thing, Hake. The majority of UAW members will vote for Trump because they know this electric vehicle thing is a threat to their jobs. Because if we go all electric, the Chinese are going to open battery factories and car manufacturing companies in this country. And from what I'm hearing, they're going to employ Chinese people to work there. So, and this clown union president for the UAW, you may have seen that joker on the convention floor a couple of nights ago. The guy that ripped off his shirt.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yep.
Okay, he's a clown.
He ripped off his blazer to reveal the communist shirt, calling Trump a scab.
He's the worst example of what a union should be. He's a scoundrel. So that's all I got for you, Hake.
Thank you, man.
Have a good day. God bless you. And keep up the good work. Oh, one last thing.
Yeah.
If I send you a book, will you read it? It's only 24 pages.
I'll do my best.
Well, I hope you do. It's called. It'll be in a couple of weeks.
Don't tell me the name, but I'll look out for it. Appreciate it. Send it to Bond.
I appreciate you. Thanks, Hake. God bless.
You too. Bye. Yeah, you can send your stuff. Send Hake some swag. No anthrax though. To P.O. Box 35090, care of Bond, Los Angeles 90035. I want to before I get to my stories, at least to one more call here, and hang tight, callers, and then I will try to be efficient with the stories. Ronnie in Ohio here on the line. Ronnie, thank you for calling and holding there, man. How you doing?
My guy, Hake, I'm doing all right. How you doing?
Doing well as well. Thanks.
Yes, sir. I wanted to first point out is this might be the first time I agree with Mark on something. He spoke on unions being good, and I'm in complete agreement with him on that part. There definitely is some good that they provide.
Is it true that the unions are part of what broke the manufacturing industries, so that manufacturing went to China?
No.
I have that impression.
Workers don't have anything to do with CEOs and owners of companies deciding to pack up and move their companies overseas. That's the decision that they make.
Workers may not, but unions may have made it so costly to employ people and hairy, all these conditions, that they might have just gone overseas instead. Had you considered that?
I would say that that's an excuse that they give in order to justify moving their jobs over where they can get cheap or nearly free labor.
But they could have. But couldn't jobs have been cheap here, had it not been for unions and evil things like minimum wage? We could have had cheap jobs, and money would have still been worth something, had they not caused all this inflation with inflated minimum wage, things like minimum wage, and inflated things like overpaid union employees and stuff. People get like $50 an hour, whereas normal people are getting like $20 an hour.
So most union jobs, especially if we're talking about those blue collar workers as opposed to the white collar workers, they're not millionaires. They're not usually people that are exceeding poverty or upper middle class people.
But
we can't really categorize them as such.
But aren't the unions getting better pay than non-unions workers from the same industry?
Sometimes, and it's not always just so much better pay. We also talking about working conditions, the work week itself, the work itself. Unions aren't just walking around just only negotiating wages.
They get their union breaks too. We got to get our 15-minute union break. Oh, Hake has been at half an hour. I need my union break.
I think that's a good thing, to make sure that workers aren't dying in factories or overexerting themselves, hurting themselves, and then also having a company that doesn't want to cover their medical expenses. I don't think that's the American way.
Companies shouldn't have to do that.
I disagree. I think if a company gives you a job and they kind of wear you down and giving you back pain and you walking around with a beta back because you lift and stuff, and then they don't want to cover you medically for putting you at risk, I don't think that's the American way. I think the American way is to protect American workers, not exploit them.
But there's a whole lot of cushiness and abuse and spoiling that you're not really acknowledging.
I'm looking at the 80-20 rule. You can definitely find examples of
80% abuse, 20% good quality workers. Is that what you're saying?
No, when I say 80-20 rule, that means I'm speaking on more often than not. There are definitely going to be there will be anomalies and bad examples of unions keeping bad workers on pay or unions doing bad things. But those, when we're speaking majority, unions, the people who work for the people that are part of unions, they do it voluntarily. And that's part of the American way.
That's not voluntary. They have to make. They literally have to make right-to-work laws so that unions can't force employees to join the union.
And that's not every job.
And that's not even in some states. Some states, like teachers in California, I think they're forced. Correct me if I'm wrong. They're forced to join the union and pay the Democrat union. They don't have a right. Yeah.
They might. So what I'm saying is, if I'm a teacher in California and I don't want to pay union dues, I go work somewhere else. That's what we do in America.
Lord,
we don't say, no, I want to work here, and then you have to change your rules to fit what I want you to do. That's not the American way. The
American way is freedom, not
of choice.
Exactly. So you have freedom to work here and not join the evil union.
Right. And on the other side of that coin, if I have a union that has 1,000 workers and we have a contract with the employer is going to have to work with us, and we're going to have to be in some type of agreement. And if we can't come to an agreement, that employer can find new employees, or those employees can find new jobs.
I seriously doubt if we got rid of all unions that American employees would be starving and destitute.
Well, getting rid of all unions is a hypothetical that wouldn't come true.
Yeah, I mean, so is the notion that Americans would be starving were it not for unions. Because you're acting like Americans would be starving and destitute and crippled from working so their fingers to the bone without unions.
I never said that.
Yeah, you said we need unions, otherwise we would be starving. Something to that effect.
I never said that.
You said
I'm not acting like that either.
Yeah, you said that it's good that employees aren't starving.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, you did.
I said unions do more than just wage negotiations. They also negotiate working conditions.
Right,
and the work week
they make
itself.
the working conditions way too cushy. Do you agree with me that God gave us 1 day off and the unions gave us 2 days off because they're mama spirit? They're communists, devils.
I do not agree with that. You're
they gave us
entitled to
the
that
weekend.
opinion, but it's a little weird.
God didn't give us the weekend. The unions gave us the evil weekend. Saturday and Sunday. That's ridiculous.
And who created the culture that created unions?
Communists.
Unions only came into play because workers weren't being compensated correctly. They were being overworked.
No,
they were being
that's not
overworked
true.
and underpaid. Okay,
No,
then why do we have unions? And why do people pay union dues and join unions?
Because there is devilish ingrates. Just like the so-called civil rights movement was evil, so was the union movement was evil. It was.
That's an opinion that you have. That didn't answer the question that didn't. What you just said was a subjective, opinionated statement, and it didn't answer the question that I asked.
Yeah, it did. Who did it? Communists.
I said, who created the culture that allowed unions to even arise and be a thing?
Communists did.
My point in that is, if workers weren't being overworked and underpaid, there would be no need for unions.
That's like saying if the racism didn't exist, we wouldn't need the civil rights movement. We don't need the civil rights movement, and we don't need the unions, I say.
Okay, and I disagree again.
You think we need the civil rights movement?
I mean, this 2024. We don't necessarily need it now as
Did
much
we
as
ever
we
need
needed it when. Were black people always able to vote?
Yeah, I think so. At some point, somewhere.
No, were black people always able to vote
Before the civil rights movement? Yes.
No, they weren't.
Yeah, huh?
There was a short period of time between civil rights period and slavery where black people could vote. But the answer to my question that I asked you is a simple no. Black people were not always allowed to vote.
I know, but that has nothing to do with the civil rights movement.
But it has. Yes, it does.
And black people.
It has everything to do
with it.
with
No, it doesn't. The civil rights movement came after blacks were already voting.
It's not just the right to vote. My point in saying...
Okay, and then is black people voting even a good thing?
Yes, if you're going to get... You shouldn't be taxation without representation. You telling me that black people should be paying taxes and not be allowed to vote?
We could get rid of taxes if blacks don't vote. I'd be happy.
That wasn't an answer to my question. You think black people should pay taxes and live in this country and not have any representation or be able to vote?
Maybe so. I don't know. I don't care about the taxes thing. We're asking whether blacks voting is a good thing. By and large, blacks have been voting for evil.
So they shouldn't have a right to vote?
No. There is no such thing as a right to vote. It's not a right.
Thank you for... It is... Being able to vote is not a right?
Right. It's not a right.
What is it? Then what is it?
I guess it's an opportunity or a privilege granted to the people who deserve it, who actually care and know about the country and have a stake in the country.
So black people who were born in this country, whether we're talking about the 1930s,
right,
whether we're talking about 2024, you're telling me that black people shouldn't, across the board, who are born here, shouldn't be allowed to vote?
I think the country would be better off.
That's an opinion. And you're allowed to. Listen,
are black people voting for Democrats at 95%? 95% of those who are voting for Democrats.
I don't know the numbers, and
if like
your
out of control like that.
If your argument against black people having a right to vote is based on who they vote for,
they don't even have a stake in the country. And they're not even paying taxes. They're subsidized. Many of them.
Black people don't have a stake in this country.
Right. They don't.
Dude,
They're not producing.
Black people, listen, James, hold on. Black people fought in the Revolutionary War.
Right.
Black people fought in the War of 1812. Black people fought in the Civil War. Black people fought in World War I and in World War II. Who are you to say that black people don't have a stake in this country?
Those wars don't do anything for the country.
All right, hey. So you brought up civil rights, and that was the main reason I called. Was about you said you disavow MLK. Why is that?
I disavowed his speech especially, but MLK was evil. He was a phony. He turned out to be a. Once I saw Uncle Tom 2, I realized that guy is just as phony as Benjamin Crump.
So because he was, in your opinion, he was phony, you disavow him?
Yeah, he was for evil. He wasn't for anything good. He was a wolf in sheep's clothing. He was an intellectual atheist, basically. Well, at one point he was an atheist, according to Chad O. Jackson's research, who exploited useful idiot young, angry blacks and whites and Jewish people and women for being ungrateful and falsely accusing whites of hating blacks when it was actually blacks hating whites. And he was like for this poor people's campaign. He was a communist, according to some people.
Okay, so in other words, you disavow him because he was phony, he was evil, you disagree with his politics, and then you think that he wrongfully got certain people in America.
It's not that I disagree with his politics. He was for pure evil. It's not about politics. He was for evil. Well, go ahead.
You said he was a communist. That speaks on politics and that speaks on
communism is like a religion.
Communism is not a religion. It's a means of it's an economic philosophy that is going to be affected. I mean, it's going to affect policy.
It's an atheist. It's an atheist philosophy.
It has nothing to do with religion.
Yes, it does. It has a whole lot to do with religion.
You have communists.
Oh no, you're ignorant, man. You gotta read a book.
You gotta pull up your Chat GPT. I know you use it very often.
I do not.
Look and find out.
You're thinking. You're confusing me with Anchor Baby.
I'm not confusing you with anybody.
I've never used Chat GPT.
Whatever software you use to help you research. If you look it up, you will find out. Hold on.
All right, go ahead.
You do a lot of interrupting. Thank you. I appreciate it. You will find out that there are communists of all types of religions. So to say that it's an atheist religion is ignorant.
No. I think you're being ignorant. I don't think that. I don't think that you realize that at root
there are Christian communists, there are Buddhist communists.
But they're not Christians and they're not Buddhists. You're
telling me all communists are atheists.
Yeah, at root, it is an atheist philosophy. It's motivated by atheism, and you can be a Christian, but a good communist will always become an atheist because it's atheist at root. It's anti-God. It's materialistic. It pretends that poverty causes crime and other dumb things like that.
That was a bunch of disinformation.
No, it's not. You got to listen to Bill Lockwood.
And it might be malinformation.
Malinformation?
Yeah.
Malinformation, misinformation, and disinformation.
Yes, all of those prefixes are different.
Right.
And that's something else you can look
I don't
up.
think that you realize the atheist roots of communism.
I don't think you realize that not all communists are atheists.
Address that. I never said that all communists were atheists. It's an atheist ideology. Whether or not you call yourself an atheist or not is irrelevant to whether communism is an atheist ideology.
Communism is an atheist ideology?
Yeah. You don't even have you even read Marx and Engels and all them?
Yes.
And you never saw that it's atheist at root?
No.
How are you so blind? You're an intellectual.
You can call it what you want.
Yeah.
So again, I'm trying to figure out what you were saying about MLK. You said
MLK was an atheist at 12, I heard, according to Chad Jackson, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if we're going to condemn people for what they did at 12, then I'm
not
really
condemning him for what he did at 12. I'm condemning him for what he did.
That's what it sounds like, because when he died, he was a Christian pastor. When he died, he was a Christian pastor.
So-called.
When he was a young adult, he was a Christian pastor.
So-called.
So if we're gonna point at what he did when he was 12, then you're condemning him for when he was 12, and you're on your own on that.
No, but you're
you said
misinterpreting my words. I never said that, nor did I even imply it. So you're using faulty logic.
Misinterpreting the word. Okay, so again, I'm gonna just try to get back to the root of the conversation because we didn't went down some weird rabbit holes.
I know.
Said that you said MLK was phony.
Yep.
He was evil.
Yes.
And he riled up Americans based on lies and created fear in them.
Fair enough.
That's the same thing Donald Trump does, and you support it.
That's not true. Trump is a truth teller. He's a man of peace and strength, and he wants what's best for the country. He wants unity. He's not pushing victimhood. He's promoting people being free. He's not pushing anything close to what MLK is. How are you so blind on Trump? You are a what is it called? A blind intellectual. You might as well call yourself Joe from Phoenix's little nephew or big nephew.
You can call me whatever you want.
I'm not calling you that. I'm likening you to the same blind thinking as Joe from Phoenix, because how are you going to compare phony Benjamin Crump type MLK to real guy who loves the country, Donald Trump?
Okay, so when you say that, and you did say this, I want to make sure that you said it. You said that Donald Trump doesn't spread victimhood.
Right.
Okay, so when he tells people they're coming after me, and if they come after me, they're going to come after you next. That's not victimhood?
No. That's reality.
What is it then?
He says they're not, in reality, they're not after me. They're after you. I'm just in the way. And that's a reality.
Why are they after us if we didn't commit any crimes?
They may not they may not be after you because they seem already to have you on some level.
Then that would make it a lie.
No.
That would make it a lie.
Was he talking to you personally? Did he tell you this?
I wasn't in the crowd. I wasn't in the crowd. He was talking to the people in the crowd.
Okay, well then he wasn't talking to you personally.
Hold on. So to the people in the crowd that didn't commit crimes,
right?
To say that they're coming after you, and why would they come after people who haven't committed crimes?
Because they hate independent thinkers who stand in the way of the country turning communist or turning evil.
Who is they? Who is they?
The powers that be, the establishment, the rhinos, the Democrats, the mainstream media, the useful idiots. They hate Trump and Trump supporters. They hate white people. They hate men because white people and men and Trump supporters tend to vote a little bit more sane. They tend to be independent thinking and independent. They don't want all this cushy, spoiling welfare stuff. They just want the freedom to work and live and discriminate and be Christians and not have to wear their masks and do their business and not have the government meddling in everything and crying racism all the time. Those people are in the way.
Except they want the government to meddle in between a woman and her doctor and her choice to do what she wants to do with her body if she's pregnant.
Don't tell me that you're falling for being pro-abortion.
No, I just wanted to add that caveat. You said
that's not a caveat.
It is. You said they want freedom. You said they want freedom. They don't want the government telling them what to do.
Do you have a right to
abortion?
Do you have a right to murder?
You didn't hear what I said.
Do you have a right to murder? Should the government impose on your right to murder? You just went there.
Kill.
You literally just went there.
Thou shalt not kill. I was trying to correct
does the government
what you
have
said.
to? No, you didn't correct anything.
And I don't want to go down. I don't want to further go down the weird rabbit hole.
Yeah, but why did you bring it up?
You said because you said
that's a weird rabbit hole to go down.
No, the rabbit hole would be going down the question of do I have the right to murder? I'm like, no, we're not talking about that. What I'm saying to you is that you said
do
those
women
voters
have the right to
want
murder?
Freedom. You said those voters want freedom.
Yes.
And they don't want the government meddling in their business. And
right.
I said, except when it comes to abortion, they
is
do
murder
want the
your
government
business?
to step in. Is
murder your personal business or the woman's personal business?
Ain't got nothing to do with me.
Is murder the woman's personal business?
That ain't got nothing to do with me.
So it's her personal business?
It's between a woman, the father of the child, and her doctor, and I don't think the government should be meddling in their business.
Whether they're allowed to murder the kid.
Define murder.
Killing without justification.
with all the guns that we have in this country, there's a lot of killing without justification. So if we only want to apply this to abortion, it's going to be a tough conversation. But if we want to talk about it holistically, I'm all for it.
So you just want to dodge and I might as well get the snake puppet out if you're going to slip around like that and bring up one wrong.
Questions.
To bring up questions. You did not answer the question at all.
I've asked you about 10 questions that you didn't answer, so it's clearly okay to not answer questions directly.
You're a mess. How are you such a mess?
I try to be fair in conversation.
You're not fair. You're not even answering. You cannot even answer the question whether abortion.
I haven't interrupted you as often as you've interrupted me. I try to be fair in conversation.
Nice, thank you.
I try to ask sensible questions to keep the conversation going forward, as opposed to I don't even know what the types of questions are that you're asking that kind of get us stuck in these rabbit holes.
You brought it up. You brought abortion, which has nothing to do with freedom.
Why did I mention abortion?
Because you think that it has something to do with freedom.
No, it has everything to do with the government not getting involved in people's business.
Right.
I don't think the government has a right to tell people they have to get vaccinated.
Uh-huh.
And I don't think the government has a right to tell people they have to carry a baby to term if they don't want it.
Wow. Okay. All right.
I try to be fair.
Right.
I'm not going to say, hey, the government has the power to say, no, you got raped, you got to have this baby. But no, you don't have to get a vaccine. To me, that's kind of dumb. But that's where a lot of my friends on the right stand. They think the government should have the power to enforce an abortion ban and then say, oh, no, when it comes to vaccinations, it's your body, your choice.
And you think those two things relate?
And if they try to justify that, they struggle to justify that.
But it doesn't make sense because rape doesn't justify murder. A rape victim should not victimize another victim who had nothing to do with the rape, who did not even commit the rape.
You said rape doesn't justify. What about attempted rape?
Rape doesn't justify murder.
Does attempted rape justify murder?
Do you agree with me that rape doesn't justify murder?
I don't.
You think that rape justifies killing the baby?
I think that if a woman is carrying a weapon on a college campus and somebody's going to attempt to rape her and she shoots and kills that person, she should not go to jail.
I'm talking about killing the baby. You're bringing up a totally different subject.
Right. It's not a totally different subject.
Yes, it is.
We're talking about an American citizen having the right to quote unquote kill. If you don't think Americans have the right to kill, then you are. If you don't think Americans have the right to kill, then you're anti-Second Amendment.
I already talked about unjustified killing. How dense are you being, man? I'm shocked at you.
So if a woman is raped by somebody, if she doesn't have a gun and she ends up getting actually raped by that person, I don't think she should have to deliver that baby and raise it.
You keep on changing the subject.
I'm not changing the subject. I'm literally giving you the two small scenarios, and I'm keeping it the same way.
Oh, okay.
If a woman is about to get raped by somebody, she doesn't get raped by this person, but this person tries to. If she kills that person in self-defense, I think it's justified. If a woman doesn't kill the rapist and she gets raped and becomes pregnant, I think she's justified in ending that pregnancy and killing that quote-unquote baby.
No.
They're both justified.
No, they're not. Neither. Well, she's not justified in killing the baby.
We disagree. I think both women. Both women would be justified in their quote unquote killings.
Well, you can justify it all you want, but she's going to be miserable for having killed the baby. You're adding to her sorrows.
That's her freedom. That's her freedom.
It's not a freedom. It's a special privilege.
It is a freedom.
No, it's not.
The same way somebody quote unquote might feel bad or feel sick if they don't get vaccinated. That's on them based on the choice that they made. So if they going into pregnancy and they have to deal with the mental and emotional ramifications of that, that's on them. But I can only imagine the emotional ramifications of giving birth to a baby from somebody that raped you. I'm not about to tell any woman she has to have that baby.
Well, I would advise her to have the baby. And I don't think
that's authoritarianism. And you think that you?
No, it's not authoritarianism.
I don't think the government or any person has the ability or the authority to tell somebody else that they have to deliver a baby that was a result of them being raped.
If they had sex or they got themselves raped, they should have the baby. They'll be happier for it than if they killed the baby.
And you are entitled to that, what I would call a dumb opinion.
All right. You're for
But
killing.
regarding MLK,
You're for unjustified killing.
the way you condemned MLK, to me, I think the same explanation you gave is reason enough to disavow Trump.
No, not at all.
It's
Trump
the same
is
thing. Talking to people, stoking fear.
He's not
saying that
stoking
this
fear.
is what the government's doing, and you need to step up and vote and do this. They both used those same instrumentations.
Do you agree with me that MLK stoked fear and division and hatred?
Say that one more time.
Do you agree with me that MLK was a woman?
No, MLK was not a woman.
Yeah, he was a divider, a hater. He pushed victimhood.
I don't think he pushed victimhood. I don't know what books
Do
or
you think
speeches
Trump
that you've
pushed
read
victimhood?
of his or haven't. Say that again.
Do you think Trump pushed victimhood?
Yes, I gave you that example already.
But so you're pretending like Trump and MLK are the same for me, but you don't actually think that Trump and MLK are the same.
I don't.
Yeah.
And
so
that's
then
based.
You don't even really believe in what you're saying.
Hey, no, I specifically asked you why you disavow MLK and the reasons that you gave. I said I used those same reasons to disavow Trump.
Well, you can disavow Trump all you want.
I appreciate that. Thank you for telling me that the same way that I've been doing that with you. I'm like, you got the right to those opinions.
Because I'm for freedom, not murder.
And I'm the same way. I'm for freedom.
Except you're for a simp for women.
I'm not a simp for women.
Yeah, you are.
Wait, let me rephrase. If standing up for women being able to protect themselves with guns and with abortion access, then yeah, I guess I'm a simp for women.
Why you have to throw guns in there? You make yourself sound tougher?
It's the same way. I don't think that women should only be able to defend themselves from attempted rapists. I think they should also be able to defend themselves if they're actually raped and then they become pregnant. I think they should be able to defend themselves from that.
That's not self-defense to kill a baby in the womb.
Yes, it is.
No,
sometimes
harming yourself.
Sometimes it is.
It's harming yourself.
If carrying the baby to term is threatening to their health, or if it's
which has nothing to do with rape.
If a woman is 8 weeks pregnant with a baby that came from a rapist, I think it's okay for her to end that pregnancy.
Yeah. I mean, I get that you're a blind simp.
You can call it what you want. I'm okay with that. But I stand where I'm at. I think women should be able to defend themselves.
So do you disavow MLK?
I do not disavow MLK. I've read too many of his books, listened to too many of his speeches, and agree with more. There's more stuff that he said I agree with than it is that I disagree with.
Communists will mix facts with lies.
Trump mixes facts with lies all the time, and you think it's okay.
Trump doesn't lie.
Yes, he does.
No, not deceptively, not for the harm of the people, not to pretend like he's something that he's not. No, he does not.
He doesn't tell people things to pretend that he's something. You don't listen to Trump talk then.
Yeah, huh? But
anyway,
you
can't.
Yeah, you're blind. You're blind, man.
I'll tell you this. Between Trump and MLK, only one of those scam people out of millions and millions of dollars.
Scam? Lord.
Yeah.
Lord.
You don't know about Trump University?
I've heard it. So you fell for that. You fell for that propaganda.
You don't know about Trump University?
I've heard of it.
You don't know about Trump University?
I don't know much about it, nor do I care.
Cool, yeah.
You want to call it a scam all you want? That's courtroom jargon propaganda. The truth does not come out in the legal courts.
Legally, okay, so when Mark says that it's legally okay to say the word Negro, you agree. When I tell you that legally Trump has been found guilty of scamming people via Trump University, you just turn a blind eye to it.
Because
I don't know why you do that, but it's okay. You're entitled to do that.
The Negro word was never adjudicated in lawsuits, okay? It's about the First
Trump
Amendment,
University
okay?
was, though.
I know, exactly. That's what
was.
I'm telling you. That lawsuits don't tell you the truth.
Some of them do. And
right,
Trump
exactly.
Trump University is a lawsuit that was legitimate. So
how do you know?
You said you've heard it? Because I know about it. I didn't just hear about it.
Just because you know about it doesn't mean you are able to be a good judge about it. You think you judge abortion in the case of rape as fine, which many people are blind like that. I understand it. And you judge Trump as worse than MLK, and that's ridiculous.
I didn't even
So you're
say
not
Trump
a good.
was worse than
You're not
MLK.
a.
I
You're
just
not
said
a
I
good judge.
disavow one and not the other.
You're not a good judge of truth versus lies.
And you're entitled to have that opinion.
Yeah, because courts will force a person to. They will cast things in a funny light, especially lawsuits. Give me a break.
Some of them, absolutely.
Yeah.
But specifically speaking on Trump University, that's not the case, and that doesn't apply.
So it says you.
And when I asked you about it, you said you heard about it, and then you don't care about it, and
Right.
that's okay. But
Right,
that means
because
that
I take Trump for how he presents himself, and he presents himself real. And for some odd reason, you can't see that.
Did you see how he presented himself with regards to Trump University?
No, I don't watch that stuff. I don't care about the smears. Those are phony
Watch
smears.
that stuff. They're not.
I watch
phony
how
smears.
he presents himself.
Did you see how I should have said misrepresented himself. Did you see how he misrepresented himself through Trump University?
I don't know, and I don't care. I see how he presents himself in the real life, and for some reason, you can't see that.
Okay, so to help you keep the wheel spinning, I'll try to tie this up in 10 seconds.
All right.
You're against unions because they mistreat Americans, but you're okay with Trump scamming millions and millions of dollars out of Americans.
Yeah, of course. Unions have been far more destructive, and Trump has been constructive. Trump has helped build America, and unions are holding America back and holding America down. Definitely.
Yeah, you're entitled to that opinion. I'm not here to change.
Oh
your
no,
mind.
that's undeniable, man.
I would disagree. I think. Yeah. There's too many people that's a part of unions. If they were that terrible, then we wouldn't have them. But
I didn't say the people are bad. I said the unions are bad. The union leaders are corrupt. The existence of the unions was brought about by corrupt communist motivations. The JLP pointed out that when he was recruiting people to become union members, he would target the angry people, the angry employees. Because unions, just like the so-called civil rights, were born out of anger, not love.
And the same way he stopped doing that, the people that are part of bad unions or having bad experiences with them, they can also go and find a different level of employment.
Whatever.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, Ronnie.
I know you got other callers, yes, sir. So I'll let you keep the wheels moving, and we'll touch base soon.
My bag. Thank you, man.
Take care.
Bye. Terrible how Hake got carried away with that. I apologize, guys. It's not Ronnie's fault either. It's completely me. I got to read some. Let me just double check for super chats, guys. Let me come over here, refresh. Jaime bought a coffee over on buymeacoffee.com/the Hake Report, and he writes, manufacturing left because the government at the time didn't put tariffs on the products that they manufactured in other countries. That is what made it so beneficial for them to leave the U.S. worker. Nike made shoes in China, paid them peanuts, and the government didn't charge large penalties. Trump would charge large tariffs. If the big company wants to build and use non-Americans, then they got to pay big time. I know, but what conditions made the companies even want to go over to China? Things like minimum wage, I bet. And things like unions where you have to give these employees their cushy union breaks that are like ridiculously too frequent and too long. You can't fire bad employees. They're a bunch of communists. They're a bunch of Democrats. And I know that NAFTA was another thing, the free trade thing with Clinton and some of these other, I call them employees, but they are employees of America. I am quite convinced that unions were a big part of why it went down. Terry bought a coffee. How are them boots tasting today, Hake? Well, I for one don't have to lick the union boots, so I'm happy not to have to taste that boot. I don't know whose boots you think I'm licking. Nice. Thank you, Terry. Appreciate that. whatever. Terry's like, thank you, communists, for improving the lives of people. That's kind of like thanking Obama for Obamacare. How terrible. Obama doesn't care. He's a wolf in sheep's clothing, and you're falling for it. I get it. Unions are so entrenched. It's kind of like Social Security. Social Security should never have happened, and it's mismanaged. It's a mess. It's a slush fund. And now, if you threaten Social Security, people are like, "Oh, he's threatening Social Security, or he wants to privatize it." Salty Mad Jameson says, "Correct. Hate communism is worship of the state instead of trusting God." Indeed. I don't think that people realize that they're believing things like Joe from Phoenix. He calls himself a Christian, but he believes that poverty causes crime. I think he seems to indicate that. Okay, let me double check over on Cash App and Ko-fi and other places. Thank you, Harmony and the rest, for the support. I don't think I even got to one story, and we're past the top of the hour. Shall I at least get to Ben Affleck and then get back to calls? There is one line open. Yeah, Ben Affleck. Let's get over here. Poor Ben Affleck. He's a mess. Oh, yeah, Swifties for Trump. So this was from Hake News at the end of hour 2 of the Jesse Lee Peterson show. Evil, bitter Ben Affleck getting with and then quitting Jennifer Lopez. Ben Affleck, the actor, divorcing after 2 years. What do we need to know about their split? Evil communist nonsense network calls them Bennifer. Oh yeah, they were together for a while before, and then she got with Aaron something Rodriguez, the baseball player. She has filed for divorce from Ben Affleck. Women always do that, don't they? Well, I mean, he's weak and bitter. Look at him. He looks just bitter and tired. And then she looks so pretty and evil. Lisa Respers France and Ali Rosenblum wrote this article. So they're officially parting ways per court docket. 2 years marriage. 2-year marriage. Just miserable people. They'd been living separately. There was a famous thing. She canceled her summer tour to spend time with her family. They put their Beverly Hills home on the market. See? Living in Beverly Hills, living it up, and going down. Yet another turn in a so-called love story between superstars played out in the spotlight over decades. More than 20 years after they first met. And don't ask me what that thing is on some set. They had both married and had families. And then the evil idiot people who don't mind their business, Team Bennifer, rejoiced when Bennifer 2.0, Ben Affleck, Jennifer, reconciled, so-called, in 2021. Even the pair seemed overjoyed. But just like always, it's fake love. It's not real. What a mess. Terrible. So they already had children, I think. Ugh. Poor suckers. Look at them. Miserable. What is he, part Irish? She's not older than him, right? I forget. Cover up, lady. But anyway. I remember, it's a mess. It's a big mess. Jennifer Lopez, shares 2 children with her ex-husband, Mark Anthony, that singer guy. Hey! Ben Affleck is father to 3 children with his ex-wife, Jennifer Garner. I can't keep track of these people. I confuse them with Brad Pitt's mess and other stuff. Terrible. So rest in peace to that fake marriage. It's for the best. We wish Ben Affleck well. And I guess we wish Jennifer Lopez well. J. Law is better, right? J. Law, Jennifer Lawrence, that evil woman. I prefer that evil woman to Jennifer Lopez. But I think they're both really evil. Okay. So that's that little story for you guys. Happy? Let's get to Nick in Washington on the line here. Nick, thank you for calling and holding, man. I'll try to plow through all your calls. Go ahead.
Hey, Hake, how are you today?
Doing well. Thank you, man.
Right on, right on. I'm going to be really quick because I got to go to work.
Sweet.
I just got beta hearing everyone talk about all the union stuff. And I got like fired up and was like, dude, I got to call and say something about this, man.
Please. Yeah, let's hear it.
I'm a 33-year-old bike messenger, man.
Oh, I remember you. Yeah. I thought I recognized your voice. Go ahead.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Thanks. Hey, respect. That last caller, wow, he was all over the flat Earth map. Holy Toledo, Batman.
He was bouncing around everywhere, and I was going right along with him. Shame on me.
Hey, man.
And shout out to Ronnie. Is actually
a chimney stack.
Ronnie's a good guy.
He clearly is.
I mean, I don't know. No guy is good. He's
no man is good.
He's more sensible than Joe from Phoenix, but some issues.
The sensibility goes out the window with some of your callers. I mean, like, especially some of the black ones. It's sad sometimes.
And they're black intellectuals.
Shout out to you. Yeah, well, shout out to you because, you don't, it's not like you string people along or anything. You're real about it. And I'm not trying to blow smoke up your chimney. It's just like that whole conversation you had with him. I was like, wow, Hake's just like talking to this guy. And this guy is just getting worse and worse. He started pretty soundly. Anyways, I
know because he could have brought up. He brought up some points about the unions that were clearly leaving wide open a whole lot of abuse, and he thinks it's 80-20 good. And I'm not so sure.
By the time he was dropping,
I think it's the other way around.
2A, yeah. By the time he was dropping 2A and got onto the ape subject, I was like, what is going on here? Okay,
Terrible.
I'll be quick. So
okay.
I know a guy who works for UPS, and he's a diesel mechanic for them, and he's in a union, and I've gotten into some pretty intense conversations with him because I say, I disavow unions, and he's like, how dare you, I had to smack those words out of your mouth.
Yeah.
And it's funny, it's like, shout out Terry because, it's bootlicking. It straight up is bootlicking. There's one bike messenger union in the entire country, and it just goes to show.
Which
that,
is bootlicking? What's bootlicking?
Unionizing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't think that they realize that.
Just go work. I don't know who's screening your calls right now, but when he took my call, I told him, hey, I want to comment on this from a millennial point of view, and just to say that, my whole generation is like, we need unions, we need workers' rights, blah, 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 communism, seize the powers of production, or whatever the communists say. And you know what? It's just go to work, man.
You're in Seattle,
just go to work.
Not to dogs.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Yeah, just go to work, okay? And it just all comes from a place of privilege, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I work, I have 2 jobs. I have another job that is, I deliver food for a restaurant. And a lot of 18 to 21-year-olds work there. And you would not believe these people calling in sick on days they have long shifts because they woke up on the wrong side of bed, sort of. And they want their workers' rights. And it's like, you know what? Come on, just go to work. Just go to work. And so that's what I'll leave you with.
So are you stuck in are you forced to work? Are you forced into a union as a as a
Nope.
bicycle carrier?
There is no unions for bicycle messengers. We
Oh, okay.
have nothing.
Oh,
we
nice.
have nothing. We
Yeah.
work minimum wage in whatever respective cities we're in, and we're lucky if we get commissions.
Yeah.
We just, and if I could ask you a question
Okay.
on that topic, what's your opinion on, like, how some people say, oh, like, I just love my job. And some people think that, oh, you'll never work a day in your life if you love what you do. What's your opinion on that? As far as like, oh, I hate my job, but I got to do it. What's your opinion on doing a job that you love and pursuing that? What do you think about that?
I'm for just working, and eventually you'll find satisfaction in doing a good job.
Because isn't it satisfying to put food on your family's table?
Yeah, I would imagine.
Who cares if I would too. Who cares if you have to mine for coal all day, or
just
draw
hopefully you
pictures
don't
on a
get black
computer all
lung.
day? Oh shoot! I mean, but that's where that question comes from. Who cares if you have to landscape in the sun all day, roof all day, build
Yeah.
houses, or like work in Adobe Photoshop all day?
A lot of
Like-
this stuff is caused, let's say, the tough economy. The tough economy is caused by the Democrats and the rhinos not doing good policy, as opposed to
So
Trump
make the economy
making
better,
it,
man.
yeah, Trump making it better, and then those who are suffering from the bad economy are the ones who did not set their lives up well, and so they're vulnerable. They're either their health takes a turn for the worse, which is usually their fault.
Or they have poor work ethic.
Yeah, they don't have good work ethic, or they don't have the sense to save, or they don't have the sense to invest or whatever. And so a lot of that is coming down on us, especially because those of us who haven't laid our lives out well, shame on us. And so don't be vulnerable.
And a lot of people my age, they make excuses like, oh, man, work so hard, the economy's so bad, so I'm just going to go get drunk this Friday.
Right.
And it's like, okay, great. Go spend $150 at the bar. That'll really make your life better.
Yeah, people are really spoiled.
And then the same people, the next morning when they're hungover, they'll sit there, complaining and bemoaning the fact that, they're not in a union and they wish their job would unionize so they could at least get some rights. And it's just, you know what? Just go to work.
I know. That's what
go
I
to
didn't
work,
like
man.
about that documentary that I played yesterday. They're talking about it was a fight for dignity. You have dignity. Nobody can take it away no matter how they treat you.
Exactly.
Dignity is how you act, how you react.
But if you don't realize that, then you don't have the Lord in your life, man.
Right. Yep.
I mean, not to sound corny, but to sound corny. Anyways, and speaking of which, I got to go to work, Mr. Hake. Can I give a shout out to a few callers?
Sure.
Shout out to the Snake. He's a killer co-host.
Thanks.
Shout out to Terry. Shout out to Mark. Big shout out to Mark.
Indeed.
Shout out to David in Ocala. Shout out to Bill. Hey, Bill. Shout out to Frederica. Shout out to the Anchor Baby. Shout out to Jesse. Shout out to Joel. And thank you for your show. I look forward to it every day, dude.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Nick in
God
Washington.
bless you.
All right. You as well.
Gotta go. Bye.
Jeff in Louisiana on the line here. Jeff, appreciate you hanging in there. Go ahead.
Man, I'll be quick today. I just want to call a question. I got a question you need to pose all your callers.
Okay.
Based on Ronnie in Ohio's stance on abortion.
Yeah.
So if a woman gets raped and decides to have the kid, either gives it for adoption or raises it, does she get a free murder in life?
Does she get a free murder in life?
Yeah. Yeah, she sees somebody she don't like one day, she murder them and get away free because she got raped.
I can answer for, if I could take the liberty of answering for Ronnie and anybody else, I'm sure that they would say no.
I mean, it's just a smart ass question, but
yeah.
But if you're allowed to murder because you got raped, or if you decide to have a baby, do you get a free murder on life?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to kill the baby. I get that there are consequences to life. There's consequences to getting R-worded. If it's a legitimate R word, and I heard that in many cases, cases of legitimate R word, you don't get pregnant. So you must have liked it, but maybe not.
Okay.
Even
so let me
still,
ask you-
like your life is going to change. You have to blame the victim a little bit, and the victim's life is going to change. And usually, a kid, once you have the kid, you're so happy you had the kid. Your ego is so puffed up. Be happy, ladies. Go ahead.
Okay, but what's the difference if you get raped and you have the baby and you give it up for adoption to a family that really wants the baby?
Yeah.
They adopt it and they raise it. You're
Right.
still going to have memories of that rape.
You're still what?
If you, I see you still, the supposed trauma of the rape is going to get you the same way as if you give it up for adoption. You don't have nothing to do with it,
Yeah.
or you kill it. Either way, you're still going to have the trauma of the rape.
True. Yeah, you have to forgive. You have to forgive the R-wordist.
Well, I'm not necessarily talking about forgiving. I'm just talking about the point is, if you kill the baby or you get it for adoption, either way, it happened.
Yeah, that's a fact. And what I said to Ronnie was, if you aborsh after an R word, you're only adding to your sorrows.
Oh, there ain't got enough sitting on your life if you kill somebody.
Yeah, exactly. Now you did wrong.
Okay, man, that's all I have for me. I just want to get that because people gripe talk about this stuff, but it's like, either way, if you kill the baby or give it up for adoption or raise it, out of those three scenarios, you still have the thoughts of the rape and everything else.
Right. Yep.
So
Indeed.
aborting a baby is not going to erase that.
That's true.
And there are many people out here who want families who can't have kids.
Yeah, I know.
That will adopt it.
Who will love to adopt it. Yeah.
I mean, but anyway, man, you have a good day, man. I was just hard, man.
Appreciate it. Jeff in Louisiana. Take care.
Okay.
Bye. I hung up on him because I didn't want to get the click. But thank you, Jeff. Renee out of Texas. Renee, thank you for calling and holding. What's up?
Hey, man. Hey, just a quick comment. I wanted to just remind you, because I don't know if Ronnie did it enough, but you have an opinion and you're entitled to it.
Nice.
One of my biggest pet peeves in life is when you're having a debate or a discussion with someone and they repeatedly tell you, hey, well, that's your opinion. You're entitled to it. Like, son of a, I know it's right. Like, if I took a shot for every time he said that, I would be wasted right now.
Yeah, I think that he says that to dismiss it and to invalidate it as just an opinion and not based in reality or the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm over here, screaming, just like, every time you said it, I'm just like, all right, man, it's enough.
All right.
Hey, one last comment.
Yeah.
Man, how toxic does Jennifer Lopez have to be around this person? I mean, I don't know. She's the common denominator in all these things. She's been married I don't know how many times. We all, everyone has a different definition of beauty, but, obviously she's a very attractive person when it comes to attractive standards. But she's just got to be so toxic that all these men just keep beat one out of this. You know what I mean? Or she keeps leaving all these men. Like, what is it about her that she's so toxic? She's like the modern day Elizabeth Taylor.
Yeah, poor Elizabeth Taylor. She was also very pretty. Was she the one who sang Moon River?
No, she was an actress.
Oh yeah, but I think she sang too, though. Was she in? Was she in?
She played Cleopatra. I know that.
Oh, okay. Jennifer Lopez. She was married. No. Oh, you're talking about that other gal.
Yeah, Elizabeth
Ben
Taylor.
Affleck, Mark Anthony. Shout out to Mark Anthony. Chris Judd, Ojani Noah. Whoa, I didn't know all that. Interesting. 5'5". But somebody made her, and shame on the men too, obviously.
Yeah.
We love women if we love anybody.
Man, I wonder if there's going to be some Vegas odds on if she's going to, by the time she's done with life, over or under on beating Elizabeth Taylor and how many marriages she goes through.
That's an interesting question. Elizabeth, let's see. Can
I'm
I do a
telling you, I
new
think she was
TANF?
married 8 times, I think.
I think you might be right. And I want to see if Elizabeth Taylor. Whoa. Okay, no, I'm confusing her with somebody else. I'm thinking, who sang Moon River? I gotta find out. Okay, so her spouses included. Sorry. Oh my goodness. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh no, that's not an 8. Oh, that is an 8. Larry. Well, did her last guy become like a transgender or something?
Shit, I don't even know if that was around.
Well, maybe not.
She died in 2010. I think she died like 15 years ago or something.
Yeah, 2011 at 79. The tender age of 79.
Yeah.
Gone too soon.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's funny, man. Yeah. These stars, they are unhappy,
Yes, it's like they're all chasing
just
the
like
wrong
the rest
thing.
of us. Yeah.
You know, it just seems like no matter how much money and fame and everything you have, it doesn't matter, man. Like they're all that means nothing in the grand scheme of it. You know what I mean? They're just chasing the wrong thing. I think they're just going for that instant gratification. And marriage is not easy. I've been married, 3 years now, but I've been with my wife 7 years, and I can tell you, it ain't easy. And there's people that have been married 50 years, and I can tell you, I can guarantee you, if you ask them, has it been easy? There's going to be hard years, not hard days, not hard months, hard years.
Wow.
But ultimately, if you just love each other and you make your commitment, under God, like you stick with it, you make it work, and that's the commitment. And they just don't do that. These people don't give a shit. They just whatever.
Yeah,
Next.
they don't care. People don't really care about each other, and it's a big mess. People are lost, and I think even most of us are lost looking at these lost people.
Yeah, what a mess.
Yeah. Interesting. It's good to hear from you, Renee, in Texas, man.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
All right. Bye.
Yep.
Oops. I keep on hanging up on people because I'm on a... Whatever. David in Ocala, Florida, on the line. David, thank you for calling and holding, man. What's up?
Hey, I want to say, hey, thanks, Nick. Thanks for the shout out.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm going to forget about I called to talk about the DNC, and since we're talking about abortion, I want you to know they got an abortion truck outside of that place.
Yeah, that's what JLP was reporting.
They've done 25 abortions already by giving out them abortion pills.
That's a mess.
And here's the deal, man. They want to use rape for this thing, okay? And what percentage do you think abortions are rape?
I think less than 1%, maybe even less than 0.5%.
I would say so too. And what we're talking about, Ronnie, is them using it for birth control.
I know. Probably most Trump supporters are for abortion in the case of rape. Trump himself is for you being able to abort in the case of rape. So he's not even really bringing up a good example. I mean, maybe he's bringing up my disagreement with that so-called freedom, but yeah.
We'll see how tricky the Democrats are. They're taking your
and Ronnie's not even a Democrat. Ronnie's, I think, I don't know how.
He sounds like one,
but I don't think he really. I think he's either an independent or something. He's just kind of leftover. He's not dumb. He's just leftover dumb. He just has some leftover dumbness. He'll overcome his dumbness.
I'm just saying.
I'm rooting for you.
He switches up on the combos.
No thanks to Hake.
You're on one thing, he switches over to something else.
Yeah.
So let me tell you something.
A man has no business switching. Don't be switching.
What I was going to say, see how deceptive these Democrats are? They're taking your abortion rights away from you when all they did was take Roe versus Wade and move it back to the states, okay?
Yeah.
Nobody took your abortion rights away from you. Gavin Newsom said, if you want an abortion, come on and fly to California and I'll pay for it. So ain't nobody's done nothing. These people, sorry, my throat's getting all messed up for some reason. Anyway, they're evil. Those Dems are the devil's children, buddy, and that's why they love each other. Okay, you notice that? They stick together. It doesn't matter what the deal is. They agree on everything.
Yeah.
They're wicked. You know.
I agree.
And,
And they don't even really love each other, of course, obviously. They are, they're just, they just hate Trump or they hate
well, they don't.
real people.
They don't realize that they're sacrificing children just like the Israelites did to Moloch, man. I mean, if God heard Abel's blood crying out from the ground, what do you think he's happening with 3,000 babies a day or more or whatever the deal is? Okay, you got what I'm saying? And so what this really boils down to is these people are the like Obama, his wife, the list is a mile long. They are referred to as the devil's children in Matthew 13, the wheat and the tares. And that's why they do what they do.
There's even tares among the conservative Christians, though. Most of us.
Oh, sure.
Most of us
the
are.
rhinos.
Well, yeah. I'm not even talking about the rhinos. I'm talking about the based normies and non-normies, the based ones. A bunch of us are filled with puffed up self-righteousness, and us judging and looking down on those committing the abortion is evil as well. We're trying to fight evil with evil. That's not right.
Well,
it's not right.
Well, it's called righteous judgment.
No. A whole lot of us think
judgment.
we have self-righteous judgment. It's nothing godly about most of our righteous judgment. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, listen. Well, do you believe that Obama really loves you, dude?
Yeah. No.
Do you
of course
believe
not.
that he really cares about you?
Obviously not. Obama doesn't care. Obama's a liar. He always lies.
How did Yes We Can work out for you people?
Yes We Can is a communist si se puede mess.
Listen, I used to wonder how these people, the world's going to worship this one world leader, the Antichrist guy. Okay, yeah. Until I saw Obama and Biden and now this Kamala Harris. If these people are that weak to fall down for these cats, they're going to love this Antichrist guy.
Yeah, indeed. I think there are many Antichrists, and it's like a spirit. I don't think it's just one single man.
Well, there's two. There's the Antichrist spirit, and then there's the Antichrist person.
Oh, okay. But
so there's two.
All right. If you say so, I don't necessarily agree, just for the record.
I understand that. We don't agree with that. You know how I believe the revelation in a different way than you do, but that's okay. But you know what? I'll leave you with this.
Okay.
Because I know you got to go.
Cool.
I thought it was funny how Mark wanted to send you a book, okay? Right? And you said, well, I'll try, blah, blah, blah. You said it was like 24 pages long, and then you turn around and tell Ronnie that you got to read a book.
I know. I was being a little bit facetious. I got heated with Ronnie. I apologize, Ronnie. Read a book.
Well,
Go watch. I encourage Ronnie to watch Uncle Tom 2. And then watch with open eyes, though, and a calm spirit, and realize that MLK is nothing more than Benjamin Crump.
Right.
I wonder how he feels about Benjamin Crump. I don't think that he likes Benjamin Crump. Anyway.
Benjamin Crump.
Yeah.
Anyway, hey, this is just a quick childhood thing. I had this man, his name was Jap. I used to hang out with him when I was like 15, smoking cigarettes, Anyway, when he got tired of me, that's what he used to tell me. He'd say, boy, why don't you go home and read a book? When I got older, I thought back, he there was two things going on there. He was trying to get rid of me, and he was trying to smarten me up.
Nice. Yeah.
So anyway, hey, have a great day. Hey, thanks for letting me get on and talk about abortion, because it's so bad. I mean, can you imagine a truck at the Democratic National Convention, Planned Parenthood's there to push their agenda?
It was really remarkable seeing them pushing a woman so-called leader, and seeing the abortion and vasectomy truck, the neuter truck, too, by the way, or neuter bus. It's
the young girl. I mean, it's like what's the young girl's name they use for climate change?
Oh, Greta Thunberg.
Yeah, Greta.
Yeah.
That was just the opposite. That was just another Greta. No, listen. I'm sorry your daddy was molesting you, man. What now? He should be in jail for the rest of his life, or beat halfway. Just beat to almost death. Okay.
Who are you talking about?
They put a girl up on the stage that said her dad was molesting her. Well, and
At
she
DNC?
got pregnant by him. Was 12 years old or something.
At Democrat National Convention?
Yeah.
Whoa, I didn't see that. Thanks for the tip.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, man. Unless I'm not missing something. But
No, you might be right. I'll have to look into that. Whew.
Yeah, look that up. All right, man. I'll let you move on.
All right,
Thanks a lot,
appreciate you.
man. Take care, buddy. All right,
Yep.
bye.
Bye. Wow. Julie in Connecticut. Connecticut is on the line. Julie, thank you for calling. How you doing?
Hi, Hake. How are you?
I'm doing fine. It's good to hear from you.
I've never called you before. I usually call Jesse and bother him a bunch of times. So
Yeah,
thanks
I like
for taking my call.
You have some classic calls on the JLP show. I appreciate it.
So I wanted to mention to you, because your radio show seems to be geared towards, present news and what's going on in the world right now. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not going to say the name, but I just want to let you know, in Connecticut, which some of you might already know, we don't have a choice for who we can source our electricity from, which I believe is unconstitutional because it's a monopoly. So we have to pay these astronomical prices here in Connecticut.
Yeah.
And we can't do anything about it. So this is a blue state. It's probably one of the worst. It's as worse as New York. And they're getting worse now. They're raising the prices, and they're saying it's because during COVID, all the people that didn't pay their bill, because they're actually advertising for people to, if you're having trouble paying your bill, just apply here, and they're advertising everywhere, but we're the ones that are paying for the people that aren't paying their bill. So now it's become our bill has become so high. Our bill's going up to, people are posting now online that their bill's going up to $700 a month, $1,000 a month just for electricity.
That's ridiculous. That's wild.
Right. So I think, this is what I think. I think what's happening is because now, we have a Facebook group that we're trying to organize and do a peaceful protest at this company. So, but we are contacting our legislators. We don't know what to do because we can't, as the middle class, we can't afford to pay these bills. But I think that's the whole agenda, is to get rid of the middle class.
Yeah, I think they do. And I don't like the term middle class and classes and all that, this language, but I get what you're saying, the people who can't afford a lot but can afford some. And they don't want you guys they don't want people independent. And so they like people desperate so they can swoop in and quote unquote save them. And then you have less I don't know what a protest will do. You have less freedom. You have less freedom and power to just build your life without the help of the government and these evil corporations in bed with the government. Because it sounds like the electricity company's in bed with the government, huh?
Absolutely. I feel like this is all part of the plan. Well, right. So I can't apply for assistance because we make too much money.
Yeah.
But we also can't afford. I think that's part of the plan, is that I can't afford it. We can't afford it. So now people are moving out of Connecticut.
Right. That's what my caller Ronnie was suggesting that people do if they don't want to have to work for a union. If they're a teacher, for example, in California, just move out of there. You may have to move. And that may be worth doing. I encourage you, let your husband handle it. And just don't worry, because it's unnecessary to worry. And it's wrong to worry, as Jesus himself said, Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Great call, though. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
the tip.
My son loves you. He's 11. He loves listening to you. He's like, oh, the Hake report's on. I gotta go. Like he has to go listen to you. So I just wanted to let you know that you're making a big impact on us too.
Cool. I'll try to be.
Yeah.
I'll try not to cuss or be vulgar.
He likes that you say that. He's like, he pays attention to the kids. He'll say, all right, kids, don't listen to this. And he goes, he knows that I'm listening.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right on. Appreciate it, Julie, in Connecticut.
All right. Thank you, Hake.
All right. Take care.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Shout out to Julie's son and her husband's son. Nice. Terry suggests you can work as a teacher in the private sector. Indeed. For less pay, too, by the way. I want to try to plow through all these calls, guys. Stephen in Maryland on the line here. Stephen, what's up?
Hey, how you doing, James?
I'm doing well. You're coming in a bit muffled. Stay close to your receiver on your phone.
Okay.
He's old, guys.
How about now?
Not that old, but that's maybe sounded better. I can't really tell. Just talk. What's up?
I'm calling about the guy about rape.
Oh, okay, about Ronnie from Ohio.
Yeah, he's talking about that's a murder, right?
I call it, it's like a form of murder. It's not like she's necessarily hating the baby and wanting to kill the baby, but it's kind of a form of hate. And it's like a selfish killing. It's a selfish killing for convenience and fear.
Okay.
Because she's scared of how it's going to change her life and her body. And I understand the fear, but ladies, don't worry. When you take away your choices, you have less worry. When you give people too much choice, they worry too much. And women worry. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. I was just saying, before 65, they used to execute people for raping people. Remember that?
I don't. I was born in 81.
Oh.
Doxed.
Well, up to 65, Texas executed 5 people when they leave the electric chair. 65.
Is that a fact?
The last 5 people were killed for rape.
Whoa. Oh, for R word. Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, the death penalty for the capital punishment for legitimate R word that's not necessarily murder, because that's the state conducting justice in an orderly and dispassionate fashion. Did he actually do this legitimate R word, or she? Well,
they died for it, so I guess they must have did it.
I mean, that's not always the case. Some people do, I heard, get executed even for crimes they didn't really commit. But yeah, I mean, if it's convicted and it's no question beyond a reasonable doubt, then yeah.
Because they was going to kill.
So I thought you were saying that
they.
I thought you were saying they would do the death penalty for women who committed abortion. I was like, whoa.
No.
Right. Okay. Go ahead.
But they was going to kill 7 black boys in Alabama. Oldest one was 18, the youngest was 15. They was going to electrocute those guys. It was called the Scottsboro boys.
Scottsboro boys, huh?
Yeah, way back in the 30s. Okay, I'm done with that.
Okay. What did they do? Accused of R-wording 2 white women in 1931.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. And so they're trying to say that there was racism in the trial.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, they got turned loose, all of them.
They got turned loose, huh? They got turned loose, you say?
Yeah.
Huh.
Eventually.
They made a whole musical about it. Do you think that they were guilty?
Years. Huh?
Do you think they were guilty?
Of course not. They were a bunch of whores that worked on the railroad yards.
Just because they were because they may have been prostitutes doesn't mean that
they told a lie.
Oh, okay. Just because they're lying white women doesn't mean that they didn't get R-worded.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, women do lie, including even white women. So it's hard to know. But black people do R-word sometimes. A lot.
Of course.
Yeah.
Hey, man, just like anybody else.
Yep.
Hey, it goes around. But anyway,
All
move right along.
You okay?
My friend Mark, he's going to send you a book only like 24 pages in it.
Isn't
What's
that great? Isn't
I had
that
one of those
thoughtful?
books. I had books like that when I was in elementary school. See, Dick, run. They had some nice dogs. That was only 24 pages. Is that the kind of book he's going to send you?
I hope so. No, it's going to be a. It's going to be.
You can read it.
And hopefully, I can read it.
I've never heard of a book with 24 pages.
Well, there's a first time for everything.
You're right. And my third thing about my friend Mark, talking about we was ungodly about blowing up Confederate statues and putting up John Lewis statue.
Yeah, so evil.
Which one was evil?
The statue, John Lewis statue, tearing down the Confederate beautiful monuments to unity.
No.
And
I don't
Southern
want to see nothing Confederate.
And Southern beautiful pride. That's because
I
you're a
don't care
Yank.
about Southern pride.
You're a Yankee. You don't know anything.
That's right. No, I'm really a Southerner. I'm blowing up Mason-Dixon line.
Then you should love the beautiful South and your fellow your white brothers.
Right.
Are the whites not
But
men?
anyway,
Are the whites not
I
men
think-
and your brothers?
No.
Whoa.
I think they should put that Lewis statue up because he was walking. He wasn't doing it, but walking across a bridge. They was walking from Selma to Montgomery,
Yeah, wasn't that dumb?
and they were walking across a bridge. So all these police and poor whites, they was in it to start beating on these people who had no weapons at all.
Except
And
their fists.
They broke Lewis's skull. He had a metal plate in his head.
Maybe he should have stayed out of the public eye rather than
wasn't
try to
doing
be
it
a
for walking.
senator or a
Is it
congressman.
against the law?
Huh?
Is it against the law walking down the street across a bridge?
If you're unlawfully assembled or whatever, then they can crack
They
some
wasn't
skulls.
assembling. They was walking.
I wasn't there. I can't comment.
They was moving. I wasn't there either.
Nice.
But I do know they was walking across that bridge.
Uh-huh.
Now, all these cops stopped, want to be at the end of the bridge along with poor whites. I don't know, what those poor whites, the most dangerous people in the United States.
Shout out to the poor whites.
Yeah, they're those dangerous people.
They-
Look at the Proud Boys. They come in there, walking
Lord.
through the Capitol, guns, bear spray,
Guns?
feces,
Feces, I don't know if that was Proud Boys.
balls in the Capitol.
That might have been POC Trump supporters or POC non-Trump supporters.
No, they were Trump supporters.
You don't know that.
Yeah, I do.
No, you don't. You weren't there.
Nasty people.
You didn't. Anyway, I got to run. Nice talking with you, Stephen in Maryland.
Okay.
All
Talk
right.
to you another time.
Sounds good, man. Take care.
All right. Bye.
Bye. William in California on the line. William, thank you for calling and holding there, man. Let's hear it.
Click.
Nice.
Hey, man, I guess I'm thrown off by it. Well, forget it.
I know.
Yeah, they did. Thanks, David in Ocala, for the information about the abortion thing over at the convention. That is
DNC.
true. That's horrible. Another thing, try not to read MLK books that are pro-MLK, and you might find out a little bit more about him.
Well, I think he read firsthand MLK's written books.
Those books been in our schools for so many years. MLK was not what you think he is. And yeah, that's a good comparison. Crump, the attorney.
Yeah.
That's pretty close.
Interesting.
Close. Yeah.
Were you? How long were
yesterday-
you aware of this?
About what?
About MLK being basically like a Ben Crump ambulance chaser, victim-minded type person.
From kind of like from the beginning. I mean,
Oh,
we
okay.
all kind of grew up with. You go to your aunt's house, and in the living room, there's Kennedy, MLK, and one other individual, probably RFK. You know, they displayed that stuff all our lives.
False heroes, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. About the voting, blacks absolutely did vote before the civil rights. They did. They had a poll tax.
Right.
If you had common sense enough to vote correctly with looking into your policies instead of voting from emotion,
yeah,
that means you were responsible and you took care of business and you could afford a poll tax. So blacks did vote. And,
nice.
That's not true.
Yeah. It used to be landowners voted, male landowners, I think.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. And blacks were involved. You had a call yesterday about Israel.
That's right.
About killing babies.
Yeah.
Caller, forget about what happened on October the 7th that started all this.
Well, I don't know, but one wrong doesn't justify another. But I don't think that they're just targeting babies. I don't buy that.
No.
It might,
So
but I don't buy it.
Why wouldn't he be concerned about the little babies they were putting in ovens, the Jewish babies? During
he
this
might deny
attack?
that, which I would disavow for the sake of the channel.
Right. I see. So it's kind of ironic how a lot of people from that have family members below the border, like Mexico, as you know, Mexico only exists because we allow them to. Because, I mean, what they're fighting over there in the Middle East is this used to be ours. I notice a lot of people come from beyond that border and say this used to be ours.
Really? Oh, yeah, they do. For about 50 years, they had a hold of it. It's not like
arrogant. And you're probably not. I'm not talking about your caller, but I've seen a lot of them that are not even documented citizens.
Right.
Claiming that.
Yep.
And like, Palestine is not a nation, you guys.
True.
It's like as big as Compton.
Wow.
And
no, it's bigger than that.
It's probably a little bit bigger than that, yeah.
Because there's two aspects of Palestine. There's the.
It's not a country. It's not a country.
Yeah, they're trying to be, but they're not functional. They're not able to establish it.
They're not going to be able to. Because they don't oblige to the rules, and they're having a hard time. And when you attack countries and they respond, I mean, how many babies do you think were killed during World War I in Japan? The war creates that kind of thing. I mean, that's not unique.
Interesting. I got to run, man. I apologize. I have to get to Joel Friday and do this transition, a righteous transition.
Okay.
It's great talking with you, man. Thank you, William.
Okay. You had a good show, and thank you.
Thank you. Last quick super chat from over here. This is my beautiful Hake thing. Hang on, complicated business. Over here, guys. Come on. Yeah, I might as well start that. But Ronnie from Ohio says, great talk. What did he say? Great talk. Eagle emoji, by the way, I think. Oh, no, strong arm emoji. Never a dull moment, brother. P.S. Trump University is a bigger scam than labor unions. That's objectively not true, man. But, okay, whatever. You can have your Trump University. I don't think I'll ever be interested enough to look into it. So, nice. But check this out, and I gotta go. I wanted to play like Gorilla Biscuits or something. Is that okay with you? We'll see what we can do. Peace in the Middle East, or at least in your hearts, guys. And let me turn this down a little bit just to make sure, so I don't blast your ears. Good Intentions by Gorilla Biscuits. It's not Christian, but it's straight edge. Bye.
I'll just try my best. You
Bye, guys. Well, Friday next. Oops.